This session is Transforming Access, Ebook Central's Upgrades Unveiled, and we have Lori Hetrick from Clarivate leading this session. There's a lot coming up with Ebook Central that she'll demystify for us.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera just because I'm going to be looking at this other screen, and hopefully you can see my screen. If not, if somebody just wants to let me know in the chat or something, but let me go ahead and stop my video. And we'll get my presentation pulled up here. Okay, so this session, Transforming Access, Ebook Central's Upgrades Unveiled. We're going to talk about a few new things that have happened in the last few months or so with Ebook Central and how you can activate any of these features if you want to, and where to go in Lib Central to do that. And then we're also going to be talking about just something that's upcoming in the works for this year that should be launching later this year. And I'll point you to some links where if you want to register for any of the sessions that we're doing, there's another one there's a public webinar in August that's going to be talking about some additional upcoming things. I'm only allowed to talk about certain things at certain points, so I only have one upcoming thing to share with you later on, but we'll be having another session in August, which hopefully we can share a little bit more. So my name is Lori Hetrick, and I am a customer success and training manager with ProQuest, which is now a part of Clarivate. I've been with the company since August of 2022. I got my MLS from the University of Kentucky, and before joining ProQuest, I worked in both public and academic libraries. So we do have some we have an agenda for today. I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time, more time than I usually do in the slides, just because I want to make sure I'm touching on all the features, but I'll also jump over towards the end into the live demo as well. So what we're going to talk about today is the new waitlist feature and what that is, how you would turn it on in Lib Central. If you're not the administrator for Lib Central, just take note, and it's something maybe to ask your admin about, but it's definitely the waitlist feature is something that your institution may or may not want to do. It's not required, but it is now a feature that if institutions want to do that, they can. We'll take a look at what that looks like in Ebook Central. We're also going to take a look at the customizable auto purchase hierarchy and what that means. Book level permissions are now available, and we'll take a look at those, and then just the looking ahead on what is on the horizon. So first, we're going to take a look at the waitlist feature and what that is. So the waitlist feature is exclusively applicable to 1 user and 3 user titles. And these are titles that you own. So what you're getting through NC Live, your subscription that you get through NC Live, those are of course all unlimited titles. If your institution has 1 user and 3 user titles, the waitlist feature may be something that your institution wants to turn on. So it's not for the nonlinear titles, so expired nonlinear turnaways will persist in their current functionality without any changes, and they'll also remain included in the usage reports. So enabling the waitlist functionality does not replace the existing turnaway process. So meaning right now the turnaway process, if a patron goes to your Ebook Central content and they click on a 1 user title and it's being used, they are turned away. But there's, you can set alerts for these turnaways. Some institutions have that automatic purchase enabled. If there's a turnaway, there's multiple ways to go about it. And the waitlist feature would allow the patron to actually place a hold on the title. So meaning when that title is no longer in use, they would get an email saying, hey, this is available for you now. You can go and download this title. So again, it provides an avenue for those turnaway users to reserve a spot for the title by joining the wait list. So it's important to note too that these users will still be tracked and documented in the usage report. So they'll still be shown as turnaways. So just some notes here. If an institution has enabled the waitlist feature within LibCentral, then eBook Central users can again place a hold. Librarians can log into LibCentral and enable the waitlist feature on their own. Again, it's not something that's automatically enabled. So once enabled in LibCentral, the feature is immediately available on eBook Central. Again, when enabled, the waitlist feature would only apply to 1 user and 3 user titles. It's not available for those libraries who enable extended access. Users must be signed in to use the waitlist feature and place a hold on a title in eBook Central. Signed in users can join the waitlist for a specific title just by selecting that place hold button. So again, some frequently asked questions. Who's eligible to use the waitlist? Waitlist is available for most eBook Central accounts that are configured with authenticated users, because users must be signed in to use the waitlist and place a hold on a title in eBook Central. Is there any reason why a library would not want to enable the waitlist? Yes. Again, if a library is using extended access, meaning they have that automatic purchase or the automatic short-term loan enabled for their 1 user and 3 user titles, then the waitlist feature would not be available. So this may only be suitable for libraries that don't own many 1 user and 3 user titles in their holdings. So if you're unsure if the waitlist is right for your library, it will impact access to limited user titles. So to help you prevent turnaways. So again, if you're noticing you're getting a lot of turnaway alerts on a certain title or titles, this may help alleviate that. Also, if you're not doing automated purchase and you really got to watch what you're spending, things like that, this is another option, again, to kind of let users join a wait list to get access to that book. And then I'm going to be showing you the dashboard and things like that. There's a way that you can go in and see, how many people are waiting for a particular title. And that may mean that you want to go ahead and purchase that title for unlimited user access to make sure everybody's able to access it when they need it. So to just kind of cover where that waitlist feature enabled button is, or to be able to turn that on. Before activating the waitlist feature, you'll want to check the access permissions, again, for your owned titles. So you click on the settings drop-down menu and select access permissions. And you want to make sure that your extended access settings are set to turn away as what you see in this example here. It will still be possible to activate the waitlist even if extended access is set to other options, as libraries may have more than 1 access permission group. However, if mediated or auto purchase options are enabled instead of turnaway, then the patron's going to experience those workflows and not be provided the waitlist option. So whatever's selected here in this extended access is going to override you selecting turning the waitlist feature on. So to activate the waitlist feature, you'll of course first need to be logged into LibCentral. You click on settings, and from the drop-down menu, select system settings. You're going to select the checkbox next to that waitlist option there, and you must click on save settings for this to take effect. So you have different hold period length options. And that hold period length is how long you're going to give the patron to claim their hold before it expires. So they're going to click on place hold, and then the next email they're going to receive is going to be, when that title becomes available. So are you going to give them 1 hour to claim that, or are you going to give them 10 days to claim that? And, you can set that to whatever your institution wants. 1 hour is pretty short. So a lot of people aren't checking their email constantly. And then again, you can give them up to 10 days to go and claim that hold. So again, even with the waitlist feature turned on, your library is still going to receive turnaway alerts for titles that patrons place holds on. There is a waitlist dashboard now. So to get to the waitlist dashboard, you would select waitlist under the collections drop-down menu. And the waitlist dashboard will include a list of the titles that currently have patrons in the queue. It's not going to tell you who is in the queue. It's just going to tell you how many people are waiting. So they're going to be sorted by the highest number of patrons waiting. So here you can see three people are waiting for that first title and so on. So from here, you can see how many patrons are waiting for a particular title. Your holding types. So that top one, again, 3 patrons are waiting. This title is owned by your institution and the access is at 1 user. So, from here, you can click on the purchase options if you want to upgrade a title. So, say you're seeing that top one maybe has, 10 patrons waiting. That's too many. Again, it's going to be all institution preference, but you can click on purchase options to see what upgrades are available. So that first title, by clicking on the purchase options, you're taken to the full record of the title. From here, you can see purchase and upgrade options. So if I wanted to upgrade that 1 user title to 3 user or unlimited, etc., I can do that. So if upgrading to an unlimited access model, all the users on the wait list will then get an email saying, hey, you can go access your book. If upgrading from 1 user to 3 users, the first I think it's the first 3 users will get access and the remaining users are going to stay on the wait list. So it's going to put out who's ever on that wait list first is going to get access. And then if upgrading to a nonlinear, all, if not more than 325 on the waiting list will of course get access. So when you upgrade, it happens automatically. If there's any users on a wait list, they're going to get notified in order. So by deselecting the checkbox next to the waitlist, you will then disable the waitlist feature. So if you try it and your institution decides, no, we don't want to do this, you can come in and turn that off. Again, you just want to click Save Settings at the bottom of the screen. You'll get a pop-up window confirming that you'd like to proceed with turning this off. And then once you click Confirm, any users that are actively on a waitlist will be notified via email that their hold has been canceled. So that hold button is no longer going to appear in the book detail page on Ebook Central, which we're going to see here in a few minutes. So that's what it looked like in Lib Central, and this is what it would look like on the patron side in Ebook Central. So to be able to place a hold, you have to provide a waitlist email in order to place a hold on a title. But it's not a requirement for your profile. Again, that waitlist email is only if you go to place a hold, it's going to ask you for a waitlist email. And it can be different than your institutional email. If you want to be notified at your Hotmail account or Gmail account, you can do that. So to enter a waitlist email, you would go to your settings and profile and enter an email address in the waitlist email field. On the book details page, you will see the availability of the title. If the title is in use like the one here, you're then going to see the option to place a hold, which we see there on the left. And then you can also see how many other people are currently on the wait list. So if there were 3 people, 5 people, you're going to see that in where it says there are 0 people waiting for this book, you're going to see the amount of people that are waiting for the book. So we're going to say click on place hold. If the user is not currently logged in, they're going to be prompted to log in. And then a pop-up window is going to display asking them to confirm their waitlist email. So, and it will also give them the option to change that waitlist email. Again, and it gives them a link to click on the profile link or to continue to confirm the hold by clicking on place hold. So it does prompt them to make sure that, they definitely have a waitlist email in there and it's one that they are still using, and that's correct. Again, if they don't have a waitlist email in their profile yet, they're going to be prompted to visit their profile to enter one. And once they've confirmed the hold, the status or availability of the title will show hold placed. And then it's going to give them an option if they want to cancel that hold. There on the left, they can cancel that hold if they no longer need it. So to cancel a hold, they would just click on cancel hold, and they're going to get a confirmation window asking, are you sure? Do you want to cancel this? And they would confirm that or close it. When their hold becomes available, they will be sent a notification email. And this is an example of what that email looks like. The amount of time, again, that patron is given to claim the hold is dependent on what you put in those system at the access settings. So again, it can range anywhere from 1 hour to 10 days. It's going to tell them, this is how much time you have to access this book. And it's going to give them a link to the book where they can then download it. So on the bookshelf, typically on your bookshelf, it's where you've saved titles. If you've saved anything to the research folders, or if you have any annotated books, if the waitlist feature is activated, there's now going to be an area that says holds. So this again is only if the waitlist feature is enabled. So in order to see their active holds, they go to the bookshelf, and from the holds folder, they can see what they currently have on hold and which holds are available. So they can see that, that second title, a particular woman, a hold's been placed, and they can see that first title that their hold is available, and they're going to see when their hold expires. So they will get that date and time of when their hold expires. So if a hold is available, from here, they can click on the title to go to the book details page. So if we click on that first title, well, they also have the option to cancel hold from within this. That if they click on that 3-dot menu, they can cancel that hold and remove it from their holds folder. But from the book details page, they can download the ebook or read it online. They can also still cancel the hold from here. If they download the ebook, the item's going to move from their holds folder to their downloads and loans folder. Are there any questions about that before I move on to the customizable auto purchase? And I'm going to show these settings again, just kind of when we go over to the live demo as well. Okay. Don't see anything, and I'm making sure I'm checking the chat here. Okay. So let's move on to customizable auto purchase. This is another feature that just became active, I think, in the last 6 months. So with customizable auto purchase, librarians are able to set and revise the existing auto purchase hierarchy to their preferred order. So right now, if you've not gone in and made any changes or anything, the default hierarchy for auto purchase is currently nonlinear, Then it would, if nonlinear is not available, it would go to unlimited access. If that's not available, it goes to 3 user. And then if that's not available, it goes to 1 user. So you're able to change that and put that in any order that you would like. So this is, again, you can change it to your preferred hierarchy when determining extended access auto purchase behaviors and DDA auto purchase behaviors. So again, these are our access models. These will pertain to owned and your demand-driven acquisition titles. This information is also available in the libcentral help. So nonlinear access titles can be lent to any number of patrons concurrently. The number of days used for each loan instance is subtracted from the total number of annual loan days set for the title, which is usually 325 days. So as an example, if 4 patrons each trigger a 10-day loan for the same title, then 40 days are going to be subtracted from that 325 loan days. And then loan days are renewed on the anniversary of the title purchase. So the library is able to control patron access to titles with expired loan days, and automatic email alerts can be configured to notify the librarian when a nonlinear title has a limited number of loan days remaining. Unlimited access, of course, is for titles that are available on an unlimited access basis. Any number of patrons can borrow these at the same time for any number of days per year, up to 365 days. 3 user titles, this restricts access to 3 concurrent users. So user is a patron accessing the title in the online reader or with an active download of the title. If the library owns multiple copies of a 3 user title, the number of concurrent users is multiplied accordingly. So if you have 2 copies of a 3 user title, then 6 patrons can of course access that title at the same time. And then with the 1 user access model, of course, only 1 user can access the title at a time. So for 1 user and 3 user titles, access can be managed by the libcentral administrator or who's ever logging into libcentral. So to get to those access permissions, under settings, you'll see the access permissions options there. And then from access permissions, we're going to select the default user. And we have this general tab, we have the own tab, and we have the DDA tab. So first we're going to take a look at, here you'll see the auto purchase default and hierarchy there with that arrow. You see this is set to 3 user, then unlimited, then 1 user, then nonlinear. So if I click on, if I click on edit there next to nonlinear, it's going to bring up a pop-up window. And I'll show this when we go over to a live demo here, but you can click and drag those into the order that you want them. So if I want a nonlinear at the top, I would just click on nonlinear and drag it up to the top. So I can put those in any order I want. Once I'm done, I would click OK. And then after making that change, I have to make sure that I click on that Save Settings down at the bottom. So for the Owned tab, at the top of the Owned tab, permissions can be changed for the number of download days that are available for users. As you can see, for unlimited access models or subscriptions, a user could potentially have the option to download the title for a whole year. So the number of options you give users is only limited by the amount of drop-down choices you want them to see when they go to download from Ebook Central. In this, under the nonlinear, you see that for download days, 3 user and 1 user. You do have the option to you can decide to preserve copies. So this prevents a full download, yet allows the user to see the title in the online reader. And just to point out the extended access, nothing has changed here, but again, this is where if you're going to enable that waitlist feature, you want to make sure that you're set to turnaways. Okay, are there any questions before I move on to book level permissions? Okay. This is one of the newest features that became available, I think it maybe a couple months ago. So book level permissions can be set for individual owned ebooks. So, and it's for hourly. So we've had the book level permissions there, but it's only been where you could do by days. And some institutions had asked, we'd really like to see this by be able to do hourly loans as well. So if you open a title's full record to apply book level permissions, I'm sorry. So when we go into Lib Central, we're going to view our owned titles, of course, and if we click on the name of the title, it will open up and give us the ability to change these book level permissions. So at the book level, download hours can be set for 3 user and 1 user access models. You'll see where down there at the bottom here, we have 3 user and 1 user, and we can select days or hours. So click on the edit button first there on the left in order to make changes in a new pop-up window that would be on the right. So again, you can set hourly loan limits at the title level on 1 user and 3 user owned titles. When hourly loans are enabled on a title, it overrides title level and site level download days. You can enter 1 or more hourly loan options on a title. So, again, if you see for the 3 user where it says 4, 5, and 6, you're basically giving the patron the option to download the title for 4 hours, for 5 hours, or for 6 hours. So they can select that from a drop-down menu. You'll see the 1 user title, this example is 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. So you can put different options in there. Different limits can be entered for both those 3 user and 1 user. Entering 0 will disable downloads for the title. So same as current behavior for day loans. So this, just as an example, this could be used for, you could go in and set hourly loan limits on a title that maybe is being used for a class, and maybe you only need it to be set like that for a week, and then you can go in and change it back to where they can download it for multiple days. It just depends. So if you have a title that is going to be used, or titles that are going to be used quite a bit for a class or something like that, this is where that might come in handy. So again, in Lib Central, librarians can apply an advanced search refine filter to identify titles where hourly loan restrictions have been applied. So say the Lib Central administrator at your institution has set hourly loans on multiple titles, they can come in and quickly run a report to see which titles those are and determine, do these still need to be hourly loans? Do they just need to go back to day loans, et cetera. So applied is going to return titles that have book level hourly loan values entered for both those 1 user and 3 user titles. If 0 has been entered, those titles should still also appear in those results. If a DCR title has hourly loans applied, it will also appear in the search results. So not applied only returns titles that have no book level hourly loan values entered, and both returns all titles. So the default value, I believe, is set to both, but only one selection is allowed. So here's what one of those reports would look like. Librarians can see hourly loan download times in the LibCentral usage report as well. So here, for example, it's showing, the days, hours that are set for 1 hour for this particular title. So again, what that means is if the patron goes to download a book where these hourly or daily loan limits have been set, they're going to see, what options they have when they go to download. They're going to be able to select 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours. Again, you can put the options that you want in there if you want it to be 5 hours, 7 hours, or if you only want to give them one option of 1 hour, you can do that as well. So patrons, whatever is in that drop down is up to your institution. And their download's going to expire after that time is up. So digital course reserves, just some additional FAQ. The digital course reserve titles have a publisher-defined hourly loan, which will not be overridden by the librarian set hourly loans. Waitlist, if the library has waitlist enabled, titles with hourly loans configured have a 3-hour hold period. And I'm going to show you where you can get a whole bunch more information about all of this as well. So before we go over to the live demo, just looking ahead on what is coming this year, and it is a big what is coming this year. And I can only share so much, so I got these slides from marketing that is letting me know. So there will be an Ebook Central app that is coming later in 2024. So the new Ebook Central Reader app will offer improved accessibility against what's currently used, which is Adobe Digital Editions. The new mobile app will provide users with an easy way to download and read ebooks from their library. It is built in-house, which means the ProQuest or Clarivate team has full control on the features and functionality. There won't be the need for separate IDs between the desktop reader and the mobile one. They're putting, with this app, they're putting more focus on usability and accessibility within the app. And again, because the app is being built in-house, they are working closely with the user experience development teams to support assistive technologies from day one of launch. So the initial release will provide a full reader and bookshelf experience for titles from Ebook Central with multiple user interface languages supported. And additional features are planned for follow-up releases. And of course, always welcoming suggestions from current customers and end users. So again, just an example of what that's going to look like. You're going to be able to access your My Bookshelf within the app and be able to open that online reader within the app as well. Okay, so let me just jump over to LibCentral here. Give me just one moment. Okay, hopefully you can still see my screen here. So I am in my LibCentral, or a demo portion of LibCentral. And just to show you again some where you go for some of this stuff. So again, under settings, I just clicked on settings, and right here is my waitlist feature. It's currently disabled. There is a question mark here for more information. If I click on that, you are going to get the whole waitlist support guide here, all the information with frequently asked questions. So there is some support within LibCentral itself. So of course I would just click on waitlist. How long do I want that hold period to be? Again, I would select, let's say I'm going to give my patrons 3 days to get their hold. And then I can click on Save Settings. And again, you see this waitlist support documentation. I believe it takes you to the same, that same support guide. So multiple ways to get to that support guide. I am not going to turn this on right now. And then here, I'm going to go to my access permissions. I can also get to them from here. So the app, when will the app go live? I do not have an exact date yet. All I've been told is later in 2024. I promise you, we are going to be doing quite a few public webinars when that launches, because we know people are going to have questions about, about how to use it and things like that. So when it does launch, I'm sure we're going to be notifying a lot of people. So under access permission, you're very welcome. Under access permissions, so we're going to click on this default option here. And this is where you can see your, details for your general, owned, and DDA. Right here is that auto purchase default and purchase hierarchy. You can see right now I've got it set at nonlinear, unlimited, 3 user, and 1 user. If I click on edit, it's kind of small there to see, but it is there. If you click on edit, this brings up your top or your little pop-up window here. Let's say I'm going to do this for 1 user and then 3 user because I need to be a little bit budget conscious here. So if it's 1 user available access, I want that first. If not, then it would move on to 3 user and so on. So I'm going to do it this way, select OK, and then I've got to make sure that I click on my save settings here. And so that now has changed my default to 1 user. So again, under my owned, if I move over to the own tab, I've got mine set to turn away right now. So I can enable that wait list and be fine. Again, if I click on this automated short-term loan purchase, that's where it's going to find, if I click on that purchase automatically, that's where it's going to follow that auto purchase hierarchy. And same thing with here as well. Okay, I got to open up another kind of instance of LibCentral to show you the hourly loan. So give me just one moment because it's not in mine. Let me go. Give me just 1 second. Okay, I'm going to bring over this one because this one has some own titles, as we can see. So we see own titles, our subscribed titles, and we also see what we get through the consortia. So if I click on my own titles, this is where I can see a list of everything we owned, whether it's 1 user, 3 user, etc. So if I click on the title itself, if I scroll down, here is where I get those book level permissions that I can change. So it's a little bit confusing because you first have to click on edit. And when you click on edit, that's when it allows you to make those changes in here. So if I want to do hours for my 3 user, I can do 1, 3, 5. I'm not going to save anything in here. Or if I just want it to be, 1 hour, I can just leave it at 1. I can make those changes however I want. And I can also use days, but the hours was something that a lot of our institutions were asking for. So that's where you can go in and make those changes. Okay, I am going to cancel this. I'm going to show a couple more things here. I'm going to close this out. I do want to show our LibCentral, I'm sorry, this is let me go to the Ebook Central LibGuide first. So we do have the Ebook Central LibGuide that talks more about the waitlist and any other of our new features. Something that is kind of new and you may not have watched it. I just did a session on it today, but we have Introduction to Accessibility on Ebook Central. We talk about what Ebook Central has done to get the 100% score for Aspire, I think is what it's called, but also where to go to find maybe some of those plugins and free, text readers, things like that. So we have some web recordings here. We also have, I have one all about, the waitlist feature, which is going to be on the LibCentral LibGuide. So let me put this link in the chat here. This is the Ebook Central one. And then I'm going to show the LibCentral. So this is the LibCentral that I will put here as well. And it goes into more about, there's an Ebook Central FAQ, frequently asked questions. There is a presentation on Ebook Central, is it right for your library? And then we also have some webinar recordings, and a lot of these are very recent. So we've got an Ebook Central Academy series kind of going on this summer for both administrators and librarians, and also for end users. But we have a whole series on purchasing, different purchase models. It's as you can see, a 5-part series, so very involved. It goes into demand-driven acquisition and things like that, keeping track of your purchases, keeping track of turnaways. So that whole series has been recorded and posted here as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back and just bring back up my slideshow. Again, those are those links. I put those in the chat. We do have some additional resources. Again, our live training page, which has all of our upcoming trainings on all of our different products, can be found. If you want to grab that QR code, I can also put this in the chat too. I've just got to grab this from here. 1 second. There we go. So, please feel free to visit that live training page. There's some good resources on there. And then I just want to make sure before we get to any questions that I mention our survey, and I'm going to put that link, and that'll be the last link I'll share in the chat. We do have a short survey. It takes a couple minutes. I appreciate any feedback, and also in the additional comments or feedback. That's just a good place again to let me know how we're doing, but also if you have any ideas for upcoming training sessions that you would like to see. I do always read the comments and take note of what people are interested in learning about. So please take a couple times to fill that out, or take a couple minutes to fill that out. And then I'm going to see, I didn't see any questions on the chat, but that is all I have. So if there's any questions, feel free. I don't know if you can unmute yourself, but feel free to unmute yourself if you want, and I'll answer any questions that I can. Okay. I don't see any.
Well, folks, if you have any questions later on, what I'll do in the follow-up email is include Lori's contact information if you'd like to get in touch with her directly. But thank you so much, Lori, for giving this fantastic overview.
Yeah, great. I'm excited to share the more information about the app whenever that's launched, because we're all excited about it too. So
yeah,
hopefully I'll be talking to you later this year.
Sounds good. All right, folks.
Thank
have a
you.
good rest of your Monday afternoon. Thanks so much. Take care, y'all.